falsely claimed Indigenous ownership and subsequently received government contracts. What word would you suggest Indigenous persons use to describe the minister?
That's, I'm not certain if that's a point of order. The point of order which I was going to be coming to the Honourable Member of Calgary-Nose Hill was that she had used the term, which is not appropriate in this place, to call another honourable member fraudulent. As it happened during question period, another honourable member did the same thing and withdrew the comment. I invite the honourable member from Calgary-Nose Hill to please simply withdraw the use of that word in reference to a specific member of Parliament, to the colleague of all of ours.
As recorded in the Hansard on February 9th, 2023, the member from Mirabel referred to the Prime Minister as a fraud. No admonishment was issued. Why are you admonishing me today?
This is not a debate. I'm asking the honourable member if she would please please withdraw the simple comment on the use of that word in reference to another honourable member.
Wow.
Mr. Speaker, I was quoting an Indigenous person as it pertained to identity fraud by the minister.
One last time I'm going to ask the honourable member if she would please withdraw the use of that word in reference to a particular member. I do not see the honourable member rising. Ms. Rempel-Garner, I have to name you for disregarding the authority of the chair.
Whoa!
Pursuant to the authority granted to me by Standing Order 11, I order you now to withdraw from the House from any participation by video conference or by electronic voting system for the remainder of this day's sitting.
Whoa!
Pointed questions and to criticize the government's actions without resorting to personal insults. I would then therefore ask the honourable member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands and Rideau Lakes to please withdraw that comment. The honourable member.
Speaker, the Minister for Employment has said there's more than one Randy, and I maintain that that I was referring to the other Randy as Cocaine Randy.
Cocaine Randy.
Except that we're not.
Except what, Greg? There's only one Randy? Is he going to admit it?
The whole lead up.
Greg exposes the script.
Did not lend credence to that, and the chair interpreted it as being reference to a particular member. Out of respect to this chair, and by extension to all members of this House, I'm going to ask the honourable member from Leeds Grenville to please withdraw that comment.
Yeah, even Greg's like, there's something up here. There's got to be something up here.
I'll ask the honourable member.
They definitely all sit in the same room, writing the scripts together.
That comment.
I don't know, man. This is just getting weird.
Mr. Barrett, I have to name you for disregarding the authority of the chair.
Oh!
Pursuant to the authority granted to me under Standing Order 11, I order you to withdraw from the House
another one
by video conference or by electronic voting systems for the remainder of this day's sitting.
That's two.
I have one more issue.
What's up, John? How's it going?
Question period.
You guys are joining us right now. You're joining at the craziest part of the day. Everybody's getting the boot.
You know, colleagues, I'm not certain.
Colleagues, please.
If this is the level and standard of behavior that Canadians expect us to have. It is important for us to respect this place, to respect the Speaker on behalf of yourselves, and to make sure that we do this in an appropriate fashion. So I'm going to ask the honourable member from South Shore St. Margaret's, who earlier today had used the word corrupt in regarding to a particular member. I'd ask the member if he would please withdraw that comment and rephrase his question. He partially did that, and I would like to invite the honourable member if he would just make a simple withdrawal of that comment so that we can proceed with the rest of the day.
Oh, Greg's going to go 3 for 3.
I ask the honourable member if he would please stand in this place,
Greg's gonna go 3 for 3.
just withdraw the word so that we can move on and continue with the day thing. I'll ask the honourable member from South Shore St. Margaret's if you would do so.
Did he say no?
Mr. Perkins,
Oh my
I have to
god!
name you for disregarding the
Oh
authority of
my
the chair.
god!
Pursuant to the authority granted to me by Standing Order 11, I order you to withdraw from
Oh
the House and
my
from any
God.
participation by video conference or by electronic voting system for the remainder of this day's sitting.
We got some news today. We got some interesting stuff to go through. As always, the flow of information never stops. 2 stolen BMW that crashed into TTC bus were out on bail. Of course they were. One of them was on bail over a violent robbery. Oh man. I don't know why our judicial system is so incredibly broken as it is. It has gotten to the point where people can just freely do as they please. People can freely commit as many crimes as they please without any repercussions at all. Crashing it directly, probably not on purpose if I had to assume, but crashing it into a bus. We now demand that Justin Trudeau release the names. The names that I would assume are on the list for foreign interference. We have a little, I would assume, radio show or something. I don't know what radio show this is. Red 89.1 FM with Pierre Polyev.
There are other things on the mind of the people here also about you. They want to ask you about the foreign interference, then why you do not take the security clearance from CSIS in order to access the classified information. What's stopping you?
I don't want to be gagged. So if I go and take the oath to secrecy, then I can't speak freely on the matter. And I can't say the obvious, which is that Justin Trudeau should release the names of all MPs who've been compromised by foreign governments. He claims...
Yes, stop hiding them. Stop putting them behind some sort of NDA wall. If they have caused foreign interference in our country, they have committed treason in Canada, they should be removed from our country, realistically. But here we are, still playing games, begging that Trudeau release the names while they bitch at Polyev to get the security clearance. Absolutely insane that we have an entire list of individuals involved, and Trudeau is hiding them and securing them behind this NDA wall.
Claims there are these MPs who have been compromised. Release them. Every single one of them. If he's got nothing to hide, why won't he release the names? Jagmeet Singh refuses to force him to release the names. And I think that the answer is that Justin Trudeau knows that it's Liberal MPs who have been compromised, who have collaborated with foreign governments against Canada's national interest, and that Trudeau knew about it, and he's trying to silence me from saying so. I wouldn't be able to say what I just said if I had signed an oath to secrecy. If there's anything he has to warn me about, he can do that right now without an oath of secrecy under the CSIS Act. But he hasn't, because he knows that it's his party that has been complicit with foreign governments acting against Canada's interests. And I would finally add one more thing. Justin Trudeau has been Prime Minister for 9 years. If there are foreign governments killing people on Canadian soil or interfering with our politics, he is the guy who should have stopped it. He is the Prime Minister of Canada. He has allowed this carnage to happen on our streets. He has not protected the Sikh people, nor has Jagmeet Singh. They have allowed this to happen in the 9 years that they have been in power. We did not have these problems before Justin Trudeau. And the good news is we won't have them after he's gone.
Well, we can only hope, because Pierre continues to promise and promise and promise and promise, and it's gotten to the point where the list of promises is so incredibly long. On top of having to fix our country, he is promising so much. And as much as I want to believe him and have faith in him that he could fix Canada and bring the country back around, he has the longest laundry list of things to complete. On top of, like I said, fixing everything that Trudeau has literally fundamentally destroyed here. You know, it's the Liberal government at its finest. Speaking of the Liberal government, and Spamburger in the chat said, why does Trudeau hate and destroy everything I love? Well, Trudeau says Feeding your kids should not be top priority. You have to watch this video. Trudeau says fighting climate change is more important than feeding your kids or paying rent.
It's really, really easy when you're in a short-term survive. I got to be able to pay the rent this month. I got to be able to buy groceries for my kids, to say, okay, let's put climate change as a slightly lower priority. And that's something that's instinctive. When the storm comes, you want to hunker down and just sort of huddle up and wait for it to blow over. We can't do that around climate change. And unfortunately, we have an awful lot of political amplification of the kind of narrative that is directly opposed to that. It's really, really easy when you're in a short-term survive. I got to be able to pay the rent this month. I got to be able to buy groceries for my kids, to say, okay, let's put climate change as a slightly lower priority.
I wanted to play that first part again because it's really important how insanely out of touch he is. Don't feed your kids. Don't pay your rent. Stop putting climate change on the back burner. Stop making it a third or fourth or fifth priority. Make it your number one priority. Who cares if your kids are starving or if you can't afford literally anything right now? This is the leader of our country. This is his true colors. This is what he believes. This is what he thinks. I want to play this literally one more time, just so you guys can truly understand how much this man does not care about you.
It's really, really easy when you're in a short-term survive. I got to be able to pay the rent this month. I got to be able to buy groceries for my kids, to say, okay, let's put climate change as a slightly lower priority.
Wow, interesting stuff coming out of Trudeau, the same guy who has dumped over 300 liters of jet fuel in the past few days, flying all around the country to do these summits. This man is the biggest hypocrite I think I have ever seen. Will he face any consequences for lying? Liberal MP Randy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and I quite frankly don't care, now says he isn't Indigenous even though he sat in the Indigenous caucus. What a loser.
I really appreciate you asking me the question about my family and my history. I've been reflecting on this a lot over the past days, and I was adopted into an Indigenous family, and I have never claimed Indigenous status. I joined Indigenous caucus because I was representing many Indigenous people in our community and many Indigenous Albertans, and I felt it was very important to be an ally to Indigenous peoples in our city and in our province. I sought out advice to know how to talk about my family when I was running, and I want to say unequivocally that I apologize for not being as clear about my family history as I could have been with everything that I know now.
AKA, I wanted to virtue signal a bunch and become an ally and preach about all of these different traditions and blah, 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 even though I have zero ties to them. This is liberals at their finest, just a bunch of virtue signaling individuals who want to preach instead of actually fixing things or coming up with solutions to issues or problems. Oh, I apologize for this. It's like, no, you don't. No, you really don't feel bad. You wanted to virtue signal. You wanted to preach. You did it, and now it's backfiring. And now that you're sitting here in the spotlight and everything is coming back to you, you want to apologize. Get out of here, Randy. All right, we have a little interesting thing here from Steven Crowder. Whether you like Steven Crowder or not, that's not the point. I just want to dive into the facts that he brings up here. I have two little segments I want to get into. Let's get into it.
So let's go through some claims and the truth. And again, the references are available. The claim that Trudeau wants to make here is, of course, rather than take accountability, the left is allergic. I mean, they have a condition. They are accountability intolerant, where he has to blame the immigration problem, not on the government who created the policy. It's the corporations, something businesses.
Some saw that as an opportunity to profit, to game the system. Really? We've seen way too many large corporations doing this.
Yeah.
It says the program has been used to get around hiring Canadian workers in some instances.
Well, here's the truth. Deal with it. It actually is the fault of the Canadian left, of the Liberal Party. Trudeau's policies directly admitted millions of immigrants.
My microphone was muted as I started speaking. One of the world's most immigrant-friendly countries is changing course, who after graduating are eligible for work permits to continue living legally in Canada, represents one major category of temporary residents. The temporary residence program was ramped up. The temporary residents represent 6.8% of the country's total population of 4.13 million, up from 3.5% in 2022. This is insanity. We're just bringing everybody in. We can't house them. We can't feed them. We can barely house and feed people here. But let's keep bringing in millions of people. Over 2 million Canadians lined up at food banks. Over half a million. Specifically our children. But let's keep bringing in millions of people. Makes sense. All right, we got another little segment here. Let's get into it.
Corporations are at fault anyway, because back then, Prime Minister Trudeau said that immigrants, regardless, were the foundation of Canada.
How am I going to go on this?
Okay, so this little segment here happens fast. This is January 11th, 2019.
Canada is a country that was built by immigration. Canadians are
Now this is October 25th, 2024.
Justifiably proud of our immigration system. It has made our economy the envy of the
3 weeks
world.
ago.
It's how we've built strong, diverse communities. And as a federal government, we have to make sure that that pride, that was a joke in immigration, is not undermined. We continue to pursue our policies of openness towards immigration and refugees without compromising security.
Openness. Okay, got it. Which brings us to now, of course, Trudeau is backtracking. His immigration minister said this on immigrants. He said, "We are an open country, but not everyone can come to this country." Whoa.
Yeah, interesting how that happens. They are now backtracking on their terrible immigration policies.
Oral questions.
Hey, Greg messing up the intro for question period. Oh, look who it is, Mr. Shearer.
Brings new sordid details about the employment minister's scandal. And yesterday we learned that his company shares a mailing address with an international drug trafficker who's been busted for cocaine not once, but twice. He's been caught out in falsehoods, caught faking Indigenous identity to try to secure government contracts meant for real Indigenous people, and his company is under investigation for 9 fraud-related counts. Why on earth has the Prime Minister not fired this man?
The Honourable Minister for Employment and Workforce Development.
Mr. Speaker, as I said yesterday, I don't know the person referred to in that article. I've never met that person. It's stated in the article, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Randy with the quick comebacks, as per usual.
Recap the scandal so far. He said he was Indigenous, even though he wasn't. He said his great-grandmother was Cree, even though she wasn't. He said there was another Randy working at the company, even though there wasn't. That he had nothing to do with the company while he was in cabinet, even though he was. And his company got a contract while he was sitting around the cabinet table. In a normal government, any one of those scandals would be cause for dismissal.
Yeah, that's right.
So why in this wacko Liberal government does this man still sit in cabinet?
Oh, wacko.
And ask members to be very judicious in their use of words. The
Honourable Minister of Public Services and Procurement.
Colleagues, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Minister has already answered this question many times. The question that we still haven't had an answer for is why the Conservative leader's scandal, who refuses to seek his security clearance and protect himself and his future members during the next election, what is he hiding? When he refuses to get information about the risks of foreign interference for the upcoming elections, thank you. I would ask the honourable member to not speak until the chair recognizes him.
Gina Capella.
Well, we don't know what it'll take for this guy to get fired from this Prime Minister. We do know what will get you fired. Remember Jody Wilson-Raybould? Oh, yeah. She was fired for telling the truth about the Prime Minister's attempts to interfere in a criminal case. Here's what she had to say. A Prime Minister committed to true reconciliation would have removed this minister and the other Randy from cabinet long ago. Instead, we get to watch white people play Ancestry Wheel of Fortune. Ouch. How come under this Prime Minister, a strong Indigenous woman gets fired for telling the truth when a weak, fake Indigenous man gets to keep his job after lying?
Hey!
Again, I'm going to ask the honourable member from Regina Capel, who once sat in this chair, to withdraw that one word which was directly used to another member, which would not be considered parliamentary. I'm going to ask the honourable member to do so.
I'll withdraw the word lying and replace it with telling falsehoods.
The actual word.
Oh my!
The word which was being used. I'm going to ask the honourable
What
member
a nightmare!
to withdraw the word fake, please.
The word fake? Oh my Jesus Christ! Move on.
Just for the speaker to clarify, the word fake, but the minister did.
He faked all those things.
The minister is now admitting that he's not Indigenous. So
whoa! This is beef. Oh my God! Now this is why nothing gets finished or completed or like this. Oh my God! The word fake. The word fake.
Yesterday, there were members who were asked to withdraw that very same word, and the member did. And so I'm going to ask the honourable.
Oh, there's about to be a riot in the House of Commons.
I will withdraw the word fake and replace it with either sham, imitation, counterfeit.
Oh, Scheer's gonna get kicked out. Scheer's gonna get booted out. Randy admitted that it was all lies and fake manipulation. And now the Conservatives, Andrew Scheer has called it out, and Greg did not like that. He literally admitted to it.
I've always insisted, I'm going to ask all members, please, not to take the floor while the speaker is addressing.
Colleagues, please.
When it has been a tradition of this place to ask very tough questions, to keep government accountable. It's important for government, of course, to provide very clear answers.
Keep government accountable. Whoa. Oh, Greg. Oh, Greg.
Try to do this in a way that allows people to treat each other with decorum and respect.
Who's getting the boot? Put it in the chat. Who do you think is getting the boot?
Once before. Yesterday, we asked a number of...
This is more rowdy than it was yesterday, man.
...to a particular member to withdraw that same word that I'm just asking for today. I just asked the honourable member just to withdraw that word so we could just move on.
Mr. Speaker, when I sat in that chair, I heard the word fake being used many, many times.
I will come back to this issue later on. I will come back to this issue near the end of question period. We're the honourable leader of the government in the House of Commons.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, but I think that little display of disrespect for that place is ubiquitous of how Conservative members treat this.
Oh, Karina, enough out of you.
They're trying to distract.
Speak up. Nobody can hear you. What's up, Frosty? How's it going? Welcome to the absolute nightmare that is our parliament right now, as they are trying to get a comment withdrawed here.
Members need...
Oh, Greg is gonna mute and he's gonna start booting
Ask the
people.
honourable member from Lanark, Hastings, Addington to please. Sorry.
Whoa!
Lanark, Frontenac. Forgive me, the honourable member from Lanark, Frontenac and Kingston
Wow!
to please not take the floor when he is not recognized to do so. Now, colleagues,
Any second now. Oh, there it is. I was about to say any second now. He's gonna hit the mute button and people are going to start disappearing. He's gonna start kicking people out. All because of a factual statement.
the honourable minister had finished her answer because I was not able to hear her. So I'm going to ask the honourable minister. I'm going to ask the honourable minister to start from the top.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think this shameful display of disrespect from the Conservative members of Parliament for this place is on display today, and it is
enough out of you, Karina.
They have been operating for the past couple of weeks. Mr. Speaker, it is time for them to stop filibustering and obstructing the work of Parliament. It is time for them to start respecting this place, respecting the work we do here on behalf of Canadians. We have deposited up to 29,000 pages worth of documents. They need to stop these games and let everybody get back to work on behalf of Canadians. Thank you.
I'm going to ask the honourable member from St. Margaret, South Shore, to please not take the floor. And to all colleagues, we are wasting a fair bit of time. And to making sure that members get going, we might have to cut a couple of questions from today. So let us make
Ooh, Greg, this is your fault. This is your fault, Greg.
the instructions. The
honourable member.
I don't see Sheer anymore.
What time is it for? It's time for
Oh,
the
no, he's there
minister
still.
to fire the Minister of Official Languages. He says he's an Indigenous person, even though he's not. He claims his great-grandmother is Cree, and that's false. He's not the Randy from the texts who runs GHI, but we now know that there's only one Randy in the company. Worse still, the company in which he's a shareholder received government contracts while he was in cabinet. The Minister of Official Languages must do the only honourable thing, resign in shame. Will the Prime Minister fire his imposter of a minister? The Honourable Government House Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Minister has answered this question. He has said what he said at committee, and this is absolutely false, what they're saying. The Conservatives need to stop these partisan and political games. They don't lead us anywhere. They need to respect this place and allow it to return to work and to make sure we can all do the work that Canadians have sent us here for.
Which is not, you're not doing a good job. You're not doing a good job at that.
Ask everyone once again to be very judicious in the choice of the words they use. The Honourable Member for Mégantic-L'Érable. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Official Languages is not only an imposter, he's a chameleon. He will stop at nothing to advance his own interests. Suddenly, he's the journalist and political commentator at Radio Canada and Les Affaires, even though he's never written a single article. Then there's all the other Randys. The Indigenous Randy, the Randy who isn't him, the business partner Randy, the text message Randy. Sorry. I keep interrupting the member, but now he's skating on the other side of the line.
What is going on?
He's referring to the the first name of a minister, and, well, regardless, he's made 5 references to this, and this is not okay. So I ask the honourable member to find another way of asking his question, and I ask him to start his question again, please. Mr. Speaker, there's a quite simple way to end the use of the name Randy in this House, to use the name of the other Randy. It's if the Prime Minister would fire the Minister of Official Languages. When will the Prime Minister end this big masquerade and fire all the Randys? He could even hit a home
Attack
run
of the
by
Randys.
just firing the Minister of Official Languages. Will the Prime Minister fire this imposter of a Minister of Official Languages?